Hey everyone, Justine with Blue Jay Orchids, and welcome back to another Orchid Wind Down Wednesday. Tonight we are drinking bottle 3 of the 4 bottles I got from Keel and Curry Winery, Black Raspberry. And it is best served chilled, so it's been in the fridge. And then show you the bottle again. And then I'll read this part again. Elegant red color with aromas of wild black raspberries, blueberries, and a touch of cherry. A light but well-rounded body with a balanced sweetness and soft finish. So, cheers. It smells really nice. It's interesting how you can smell the berries. Definitely a little sweet. But yeah, you can actually really taste the fruit, which is kind of cool. So I thought it would be kind of fun to share. I know a few episodes ago I talked about New Year's resolutions and orchid resolutions. So as a way to be a little bit more healthy, I started to do small changes to try and develop healthier habits. So what I'm working on this week is just drinking the right amount of water. I say that as I drink wine, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Anyway, the main point being is there's different ways to calculate how much water you should be drinking. And lately, I know I haven't been drinking enough. Your body just works better when it's properly hydrated. And in Florida, hydration is definitely important. And I mean, I used to be really good at drinking water. I used to be more athletic and play more sports. I'm trying to think of the time range. Well, in high school, I played golf and softball, and like middle school, I played softball a lot. I was actually a catcher. So being a catcher in Florida with all like the gear, helmet, chest pad, like the shin guards and everything, if you're not hydrating, you're gonna probably go to the ER because it is so hot all the time. If you are not drinking enough water, you're probably gonna end up with like heat stroke. Just the nature of things. Same thing goes for golf because I was a professional golfer and I would actually practice a lot and walk like 18 holes in the middle of summer. Also, probably have almost been struck by lightning a few times. And that's not from me being stupid, that's just from living in Florida. So, yeah, those are different stories. Anyway, main point being is to develop healthy habits from research and personal opinion. I find it's easier to start with something attainable and to try and focus on mastering that. So I'm going to try to add one healthy thing each week. And I'm also using this platform as a way of being accountable. So you guys are like my accountability buddies. So this week I'm focusing on drinking more water. So I didn't reach my goal today, but I did drink more water than I did previously. So this whole week is just all about drinking water. And then next week will be something else. But just doing small changes to develop a consistent, healthier lifestyle is what I'm heading for. And I mean, I have long-term goals as well, but doing like the little goals and actually being able to go, yeah, I did that, kind of helps build momentum, and then you're not constantly beating yourself up. I know that I constantly beat myself up a little bit being a perfectionist. So this is just kind of my new approach. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, so that's the little random bits. Oh, it is possible to drink too much water, but it's pretty hard. And then obviously the disclaimers, please drink responsibly. And none of this advice is medical advice. So, cheers. So let's get into talking to what we're actually going to be focusing on for this episode. So I just got back from the Tamiami Orchid Festival, I guess is what it's called. I call them shows just because that's how I'm programmed. I call them orchid shows. I guess technically it's like the Orchid Festival. So it's down in Miami, which is like across the state from me. So I decided, well, I'm getting a little bit ahead. So the main thing I'm going to talk about is the benefits and disadvantages of going early versus going late. Because I've been to Redlands and it's run similarly. It's a little different. It's not like comparing an apple to an apple. It's like comparing two different fruits together. They have similarities, but they're different. But the one show I went to with early access, and then this show I went to the last day. So I'm going to compare the differences and kind of give you some insights into maybe what day you would want to go. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Please hit that like and subscribe button, leave comments. Let me know other topics you'd like me to discuss in Orchid Wind Down Wednesday, and please send more suggestions. I have one viewer that sent a suggestion, and I'm going to try that after I do the last bottle of this. That's what I'm going to try next. So, yes, loving all the support and loving meeting everyone, and it's just been a lot of fun. So let's get right into what we're going to talk about today. So the difference and advantages to going early versus going late. So going early obviously has the advantage of you get to see everything before anyone else does. If you are a hardcore collector and you have specific plants that you are looking for, that's probably when you want to go, as early as you can. On the flip side, the negative thing about going early is some of the vendors aren't set up always. But that was doing like an early access. If you just go like the first day of the show, I'd say it's a little different than doing an early access. The early access I found, there were some vendors that just were not set up, did not have all their plants out. And I saw footage of other like YouTubers who went to that show, and then there were plants that I don't remember seeing at all. So I feel sometimes the early access, you're just not going to see what everyone has, if that makes sense. So that's the downside of the early access. On the positive side, you are going to see everything before anyone else sees it. And if you do have a good relationship with some of the vendors that you buy from regularly, you would be able to ask them if there was anything else too. That and the early access and like the early entry, it costs more money. Like a significant amount more, depending on when you go. I mean, I think it ranges from like $40-ish just to get in early, versus a general admission ticket would be like $15, sometimes less. So you just have to weigh what's important. So I'm saying if you are like the hardcore collector, there's a plant that you must have and most likely it's there. Or you want to just get like the biggest, best specimens, those are what's going to go immediately. If you like some of the weirder orchids or orchids that are a little bit more common, you'll probably still be able to find them, and sometimes you can even get a good deal if you go later. For example, Sunday I ended up getting $10 off a plant without even asking. And then there was a lot of, like buy a certain amount, get something free, or buy a certain amount, get a percentage off, or buy two, get one free. Mostly the international vendors. I don't know if there was a lot of like Florida vendors doing that, but I do know almost all the international vendors were running like promos, except for the people that already sold out. So that's something to consider if you're going like later in the show. And that's the benefit if you're going later in the show. So with this show, me and my friend Claudette drove from our coast to the other coast. We had a great time, was a lot of fun, talked a lot about orchids, and we both found pretty good amount of plants. I know I came home with 8 plants. I'll give you a little sneak peek at the very end. And I know that she was able to buy a like sample plant because they didn't need it anymore. So she got a blooming plant for a pretty good price from one of the international vendors that they had used as a sample during the show. So that's something you're able to do on the last day too. You can buy like their sample plants. And I know that there was someone, for example, selling something for like 40 and they had marked it down to like 20 or something. It really just depends on the vendor, how much they have left, how much they want to sell it for. And then we only stayed till I think like 3ish. We got there right at 11, stayed till about 3ish. And then I do hear that if you go like the last day, like during closing, you can get like even extra deals. But even when we were there from like the beginning to like 3, there was a lot of stuff selling out and a lot of stuff that was just gone. So it really just depends on what you're going for. I will say the displays at Tamiami were beautiful. They were really fun to look at. At Redlands, I didn't look at the show tent, but I don't think there's really a display at Redlands as much. I think they just have like the individual judging. So I really enjoyed the display at Tamiami, like the way they set everything up. It's worth just going to look at the display. And then in addition to that, you see a lot of plants from the different vendors as well. I mean, going Sunday, I still definitely did some damage to the wallets. Like I said, I came home with 8 plants. But there were still pretty good deals. I didn't see the prices were completely ridiculous. Because sometimes at shows the pricing can be higher. But overall, I felt most of the pricing was fair. I mean, I came home with 8 plants. I did get, I'll tell you the type of plants I got. So I got 3 Phalaenopsises. I got 3 Vandas because I said I wasn't going to get any more Vandas. So therefore I buy more Vandas because that makes sense, right? And no, I forgot what else I got. Oh, and then 2 cats, 2 Cattleyas. I'm trying to think if I got stuff in bloom. I think I got 3 plants in bloom. Everything else is blooming size. I think just 3 plants in bloom. Well, you guys are just gonna have to wait till the halt because I can't remember. And yeah, so hopefully that information kind of helps you a little bit. I encourage you to do your own research and find out what works best for your budget and what works best for what you're wanting. And if you want to stay on budget, just take cash, and when you're out of cash, stop shopping. Because if you bring a card, you're going to keep buying. The plants are just way too tempting. I know that from personal experience. I went through all my cash, and I was going to buy one other thing, and then I didn't want to go back to the car for my wallet. So, yeah. If you bring cash and you don't want to put anything on a card, that's the best way to kind of control your budgets. If not, it's very easy to go over budget, at least if you like plants. If you're just casually into it and you can manage yourself, that's different, but us orchid collectors, orchid hoarders, orchidaholics, orchid anonymous groups. We got the orchid bug bad, and it is very hard for us to leave orchids that we want, no matter the price sometimes. So sometimes we just need to be cut off. At least that's what my husband thinks. Do a tiny bit more of this. This is good. Oh. Okay, it wasn't focusing, so I'm bringing it back so you can see it better. Here we go. It's hard with the smaller flowers. There's some shadows too. Let's try this. There we go. Almost. Well, you know what? It actually works better because this is a hall plant anyway, so you're just going to have to wait to get a better look at it. But you can admire Roxy's pot. So cute. Alright, our orchid guest tonight just opened up not that long ago. And it's just a beautiful cat. Doesn't want to focus. There we go. There, that looks nice. So this is Chief Sweet Orange. It blooms on, seems like each new growth, because it bloomed on this growth here, and now it's blooming on this growth here. So get you the tag. So Chief Sweet Orange, Sweet Orange. But it's just a beautiful orange-red color, and it's a good bloomer, frequent bloomer. I'm a fan of it. And then this finally rebloomed. Pretty heavy in here. But just gorgeous lip coloration. And I like the flower shape. I don't think there's anything about this flower I do not like. And I got this at the Sarasota show last year. Tags, there we go. Tags right way now. Long tag. Come on. Luna Manana variation Tipo number 4. Luna Manana var Cerulean Cassie's Delight FSCAOS. Oh, it's heavy in here. So what I ended up doing is I didn't mess with the plant too much when I got it. I took it out of the pot that it was in, threw it in this pot, and just added lava rock. And aside from burning the crap out of it, it's pretty happy. Got new growths there, have it blooming here. So as it adjusts, it should be a pretty good plant. But yeah, just wanted to bring her in. I try to bring plants that are blooming so you have something pretty to look at while I talk. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Orchid Wind Down Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed our special orchid guests and a little sneak peek of the haul. And stay tuned, I'll be working on the haul video next. And I found some pretty good stuff, or pretty good orchids, I should say. I'll give you a hint. I didn't get anything other than orchids or orchid-related things. But bye for now, and remember, keep growing.